the Army. We got to get to the Army and the whites. Speaking of the whites, what's going up with the Army and the military in general, I think, and the whites?
It's, hold on, let me go to this. What did I put here?
I have a screenshot of the headline, too.
I
think I have a screenshot. Army decline whites.
Yeah. Army sees sharp decline in white recruits.
And that's from military.com.
Yeah.
January 10th, 2024.
I want to say specifically that whites are noticing what's happening to the country. And although there are the ones that, whatever I can do to assist in helping my country, I want to do it. But
yeah,
I see it as, the whites they're being attacked, and they just don't want to do that anymore. They don't want to be, granted who the president is. I believe that that's going to cause a decline also, because they are, especially that, like that real American, that they just don't want to be involved in the destruction.
Yeah.
And they just they don't want to be involved. That's just the best way I can put it. As simple as possible.
Yeah.
That's how I see it, and that's where I see that decline really.
I noticed that I read in this article that the younger people, somebody made the claim that the younger people don't care. That's enough, Hassan. Thank you, man. The younger people don't really care about this. And it's the older people who are used to encourage them who now discourage them, maybe.
Yeah.
Like the pastors, the teachers, coaches, parents.
I do it as well.
You encourage them not to?
I encourage them not to. Right now, at this point, no.
Yeah.
There's no way possible that I would encourage someone, hey, you should do this. A few years ago, I would say, yeah, this is a okay time. But now, I wouldn't. That's not that it's a death wish, but it's problematic. It can be problematic.
Yeah. Really? So you wouldn't even encourage them to go in and get that bag, which is get the money, get the benefits, maybe go into a branch like the Air Force that's not likely to see death and maiming, loss of life and limb.
Not right now. I wouldn't
even
suggest
still.
it right now. For some people, it makes sense. If you're going down that road of destruction anyway, maybe taking advantage of this.
So if you're like one of those bad kids,
yeah,
and you're in crime,
yeah,
going to the military. You can go into the
yeah,
military if you want.
Yeah.
If you're already, your life is at risk on the streets,
right? You can benefit from this. It's a possibility that you could benefit from joining.
Yeah.
But if you can do other things, I wouldn't suggest it.
Some of them don't want to get the vax.
I know some younger guys.
Yeah,
right
I don't blame them because it's your body. You shouldn't be forced to get that thing. I mean, everybody around you is supposed to be healthy anyway.
Yeah.
Except for these generals, a lot of them are fat.
Yeah.
Fat politicians.
Goes to show this Lloyd Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's just,
pancreatic cancer.
Yeah. And you're right. And that's the point. That's another point. The vax thing, the administration that's in right now, they're pushing that on those guys.
Yeah.
And that's going to turn them away.
Right. Yeah. There are definite risks to going in among the liberals in that liberal world.
Yeah.
Because they're not just going to leave you alone unless you're very cunning as a serpent.
Right.
And innocent as a dove.
Right.
Which you can be.
Yeah.
Some people might be able to do it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah. And I'd say the numbers, where I read a total of 44,000 new Army recruits were categorized by the service as white in 2018. And then that number fell to 25,000 in 2023 alone, and it says a 6% dip from 22 to 23
Wow.
with that, and that was the biggest drop from 22 to 23, and it says no other demographic group has seen such a precipitous, I don't know what that word is, decline.
Precipitous, maybe?
Precipitous, yeah, right. Decline through though there have been ups and downs from year to year. Yeah.
And it outpaces nationwide demographic shifts because white
Right.
kids are already a minority.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Probably under age 21 now, at least.
Mm-hmm.
The whites, because I remember several years ago it was like every kid under 15, the white kids among their peers, they're a minority.
Right. And that's why JLP says you need to have more white babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. The country is being destroyed like every sense of way. You know what I mean? Like
on so many fronts.
Yeah. So many fronts, so many levels. You know?
Yeah.
And it's continuous.
Right.
It's like how they go after Trump. It continues. You know, one thing. Oh,
Yep.
we have something else. We
I
have
know.
something else.
And all of it is like a joke.
Yeah. It all is.
But the people buy the bad joke because the people are corrupt.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they get that high off of having someone else. If it's not them, as long as it's someone else that is being destroyed,
Yeah.
so be it. It's not me.
A smaller army is taking on a larger mission and training workload than during the peak of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, leading to soldiers being away from home now more than ever. Huh. Yeah. I mean, they're getting rid of all the independent thinkers. It's not just whites.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want the vax,
Right.
or they don't go along with this SJW stuff,
Yeah.
this diversity stuff.
Right.
Because blacks who have any sense, they don't like this, and they're
Right.
hated. They get hated too.
Yeah.
Hispanics, a whole lot of Hispanics see through that, and Asians, and wow.
Yeah.
The collapse of men in this article that talks about the collapse of men in the labor market. Recruiting
right.
numbers reviewed by military.com point to a stable gender divide for incoming soldiers. 83% male in 2018 versus 82% in 2023. The disproportionate number of men donning the uniform means that a disruption to men seeking work in the U.S. can have a major impact on the military services. Men have been in trouble in the workforce for 2 generations. The greatest risk of being labor dropout is being native-born, meaning white or black. That's what native-born means, right? Or American Hispanic. Low education, unmarried guy, says Nicholas Eberstadt, economist who studies demographics at American Enterprise Institute. I know them. Kind of rhinos, but sometimes they have really good information.
Okay.
AEI. Like with any other big historic change, it's kind of hard to attribute to a single magic bullet. Crazy.
Yeah. 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 It's a. What? How did you read that? The men seeking work, where also for what's going on now, that those jobs that are, there's, what is it? How am I trying to say it? That now I lost my thought. How I was gonna say it, but anyway, go ahead. I can't remember what I was gonna say.
There are parallels, this article says, with civilian college enrollments. Between 2010 and 2021, white undergraduate and graduate college enrollment rates fell from 43% to 38%, per the most recent federal data. The dip coinciding with fewer men enrolling, male enrollment decreasing from 38% to 33%. Wow, over the same period of time. Do they mean 33% of the applicants are men? Of enrollees are men? So it's like 66% women? Or do they mean 33% of all men
That's how I see.
are in the maybe they mean 33% of all men are going into. I don't know. Higher education fears partisan attacks from the right wing, they say, lawmakers and partisan media. Critiques of higher education system being potent ways to gin up the Republican base. Men now account for 40% of undergraduate students. Okay. Wow, so it's 60-40 after seeing a steady decline since the 70s. And college is more useless than ever, so these women are wasting their lives, too, in college.
Right.
What a
Pointless.
mess.
Yeah. That part is definitely pointless for them to do that. It's just, it's white men, but it's men in general. It's like typical for right now of this being the case.
Right.
So it's just emasculation of the men.
Yep.
And just it just how things are right now.
People getting spoiled.
Yeah.
And also they're hamstrung so that their money's hardly worth anything. Mm-hmm. So there's it's both harder to buy a home, I hear,
right,
than ever, especially in California.
Especially. Yeah.
But probably everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Your money's hardly worth anything now, more than ever. And then you have these attacks on men. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Yeah. Right.
And it's funny because this military.com article by this guy, Steve Beynon, Beynon,
Beynon, yeah.
He's kind of trying to be fair about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Says some army official pointed to partisan attacks from conservative lawmakers and media. Sounds like these officials, even the military is liberal, leans liberal.
Yeah.
The Defense Department supported with their donations Hillary Clinton over Trump.
Right.
Did you know that?
Right.
Almost all, I think every single branch vastly donated to Hillary over Trump.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this report.
I think I saw that also just recently, actually. I saw something about that.
I saw that on Bill Lockwood's show, and then I showed it on my show.
Oh, okay.
Years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like 90%, 80%, 95% for the liberals.
Yeah.
For basically keeping their jobs, I guess.
Yeah. That's always a point to be made.
Yeah. So the government is corrupt because it just wants to keep itself going.
Mm-hmm.
They want to keep their jobs where they stay paid no matter how bad of a job they do.
Yeah, and it happens. They get incentivized for it when something does happen. They get the promotion or things like that. And people don't want to. These politicians, they don't want to break anything up. Really, they don't. They can say, let's break this up or let's change some things, but they don't really want to do it because they want to keep that facade of what's been going on. And that's again with Trump. He came in like what they say, a bull in a china shop. Yeah, like messing things up, and certain individuals, they just don't want that.
Right.
They want it to be status quo.
Yeah.
To continue. They just want that over and over. They know they're going to get the pay raise. Like the government, they just got a 5.2% raise.
Wow.
In certain, if not overall, but in certain sectors. But I think it was overall. I think that's what it was. But allegedly they didn't get a raise for the past year and a half or something like that.
Right.
Maybe 2 years. So, yeah, that. But yeah, you're right about it. It's it's almost like all these bureaucracies. They all tend to lean liberal. They are all liberal,
right?
Yeah. They're all totally opposite of America. Yeah, really, they are.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and people see through that. These guys see through that.
Yeah.
They don't want to be involved with that.
This guy writes, in most cases, the attacks from the conservative groups on the military, a partisan cudgel against the Biden administration for being, quote unquote, woke, preoccupied with liberal values and abandoned warfighting priorities. Attacks have zeroed in on services of being more inclusive for women. Did you hear I don't know if you heard my Hake News report, but a woman who's like a lieutenant or something in the Air Force is Miss America.
I missed your hate report.
Yeah, okay. 22-year-old second lieutenant of the U.S. Air Force is crowned as the new Miss America over the weekend.
Oh, I definitely
From
didn't hear
CNN.
about that.
That's a CNN report.
No way.
Crazy, huh?
That is. What? I had no idea about that.
I'm like, what? Yeah, they're inclusive of women.
Wow.
That's not fitting.
Right.
Service members from racial minority groups and LGBTQ plus troops. That's sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
The young applicants don't care about this stuff, but older people in their life who have a lot of influence, parents, coaches, pastors, there's a level of prestige in parts of the conservative America with that service is degraded. Yeah, it has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting. Terrible. Decline of the whites, decline of the men.
Yeah.
Decline of the country.
Yeah. All the above. You're right. But the drop on Earth has baffled them. It isn't easy to explain by any of it. I think you just mentioned that. So yeah, it's just so much that it's so much that that it's just like the push from every angle. I just said that the push from every angle is like attack.
Yeah.
I keep seeing that, and some people don't see it, but it's there. It's in your face. It's an attack, an all-out attack. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it.
Yep.
You know?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
But do not lose heart, people.
Right on. Right on.